My name's Victoria, and if you're new here, how are y'all? Well, I think pretty much everyone's new here because this is actually my first video. Yay! Hope y'all stay a while. Like, let's see where this goes. I'm actually like really excited for this. It's brand new to me. I've never done this before, so let's see how it goes. So today we're going to be talking about a show that has deeply encased my heart because it's amazing, it's gorgeous, it's funny. Our flag means death. Yeah. So needless to say, it's a massive spoiler warning because if you haven't watched the show, you really should. It's really good. It's really funny. It's quirky, and it's something that I feel like a lot of us in the queer community haven't seen before. Because it takes all the tropes, the stereotypes, but it's like so purposeful. It's so funny, you know. Like they're just people interacting as people, and it's just amazing. Like, y'all should try it out. This isn't gonna be a full-on episode by episode analysis or review. I'm honestly just here to rant and to talk about my favorite characters in the season overall, and basically beg HBO Max to like renew it because I need more. I'm begging for more. I don't know how long I can survive without more. Let's be clear, I think I'm not the only one in that boat either because Twitter is going mad. Like, when I say mad, I mean mad. So, first off, I'm going to start with characters. And the first one is going to be obviously Stede Bonnet, the gentleman's pirate. He is so fucking... He's amazing. He's a nice guy. He's ridiculous. He starts off the season, like, in his own head. He doesn't really realize, like, what's going on around him, which I guess is that rich boy mentality that he grew up with, that he is desperately trying to get away from, and it somewhat works. Later on in the season, you finally do get a sense in that last episode that he's figured out, you know, what he needs to do. Well, actually, the whole series you can see that he's kind of progressing as a decent leader, and and you know, the start of the season, he's literally in rebuttal of being in a mutiny, you know, getting thrown overboard because he's too nice and everyone wants chaos, and it's not chaotic enough for them. They're not stabbing anybody enough. They're not killing anybody. I don't know how long they were on sea, but apparently it was long enough for them to like get a little stir crazy with it because they're all chaotic. Yeah, and of course, like, the first fucking boat they jump is a British Imperial ship. Like, they were basically asking to die at that point, and somehow they didn't. Like, Stede manages accidentally to kill someone he used to know, but you know, it happens, right? Like, but that brings me to the other character that has enthralled me, Blackbeard. He's a leather daddy puppy dog. And whenever you look at these two characters, they are literally on the opposite sides of the gay disaster spectrum. Because one of them, they're like that murdery, unhinged, chaotic, and disasterish. And then the other one's like overly nice, overly pushy, overly like can't get over like other people, basically. Blackbeard is obviously like the one who has the most experience being a pirate. He's been doing it for years. He is Blackbeard. He is what people expect him to be. Crazy, little psycho, you know, especially like confident in who they are and their control over people. But then you get like Ed, you know, Edward Teach, who is the one that he's the, yeah. But then you have Edward Teach, who he shows himself to be to Stede, you know, and how he grows to become throughout the series because he is learning a different lifestyle that he wasn't really used to. It's super like it's it goes to show that, like, with the right influence in your life, you can make a positive change. You can learn more. There's always something that you can learn from somebody, like, that you care about. You know, I don't know if y'all had people, like, within your lives, like, whenever you started growing out of your shell and realizing who you were, that there was just some people in your life that they gave you the extra push. They didn't really force it on you or anything. It's something that you wanted and you didn't even realize you wanted. And I think that's what Steed was for Ed. You know, and Steed learned a lot from Ed too. He learned how to, like, be a little bit more of a courageous leader and to take charge, which is so funny because the only reason why Blackbeard was, like, interested in Steed was because he took over this ship, and because he was like, what did he say? He said you can. He told Izzy didn't tell him who Blackbeard was. He didn't tell him that that was his leader, that was his captain. So of course, like, Steed overcompensating himself because he thinks he's a baddie now because he took out a guy by accident, killed him by accident, haunted his dreams and everything. Like, the man couldn't sleep. He told Izzy, well, you can tell your captain to suck on these eggs. And that's whenever Blackbeard was like, I need to find him. It was fucking hilarious. Like, it was a dream, which it felt like a dream too while I was watching it, because I was like, there's no way in hell we're gonna get something like concrete this season. There's no way in hell, you know. But then I started watching this show, I think, after episode 8 came out, so I binged it around there. So I got to episode 8. The end of that episode, whenever they get captured, you know, Ed was in a different boat. He left for a little bit because he thought he wanted to go back to the roguish lifestyle, and Steed wasn't about that, you know. So, but Ed comes back, and Steed goes, oh, you came back for me. And Ed's never left. That's what he says, you know. He never left because even though he was having a good time with his old crewmate, Calico Jack, what a bitch. That was a different story. I'm not going to even talk about him today because he does not deserve our time, and he's dead anyways. In the ground. Or in the sea, I guess, because they were in the ocean whenever he... But he's like, yeah, I never left because that's who he is now. That's who he was. I say was because at the end of the season, he ends up becoming the Kraken. And if I ever saw an emo phase, that was it. And it's always whenever you get heartbroken and you get abandoned and you don't realize, like, what did you do wrong? Because you didn't do anything wrong. It just happens, baby. Like, you'll get through this. I mean, you're going a little insane about it. You're going about it in the wrong ways. Like, he abandoned his crew. Technically, it is technically at his crew at the end of the day because he kind of took over with Steed. They were co-captains, you know? So he abandoned his crew. Most of them anyways. He ended up keeping a couple on board as well as, like, his crewmates that he had originally. And so we'll see how it goes from there because since Steed left him, he came back. He didn't come back to the boat, obviously. He like stumbled upon the crewmates that the Kraken abandoned. So I'm really interested to see what they end up taking the story like later on. So next up, Jim, my badass non-binary killer. Like, if only I could be that much of a badass and know how to throw knives. And the toughest on the crew, like, seriously. And of course, like, their character is an homage to a couple of the pirates that were, I think a couple of them did identify as female, but they were like female, yet also they were mass presenting too. So I kind of assumed that they probably would have considered themselves non-binary at the same time too, because anyways, that's not what this is about, because, well, it is, honestly, because it's one thing to like, you kind of have to prove yourself to like the outside world about like who you are, but like to prove yourself and then have it be respected so quickly, because the people who would jump on these ships, you know, mass presenting, they were respected rather quickly because of their swordsmanship, or how they took out people, and how their leadership like thrived. Like there was no doubt about it. It's unlike, you know, living out in the modern day, and you have to prove who you are, why you are the way you are. Like it makes no damn sense, honestly. Like I don't play with that. But with that, like, it's a massive respect that everyone like accepted her name, they accepted who they were. Right after, you know, Jim said, yeah, that's all I want to be called. Don't worry about it. Like, we're not gonna talk about this anymore. I don't care, because they end up finding out like who they were originally. Oh yeah, so of course the crewmates, who, to their credit, they hadn't seen a woman in a while, probably. Especially like the main crew, the little crew members on the sidelines, because they didn't go see Spanish Jackie. By the way, Spanish Jackie, also a badass. Leslie Jones, amazing. Respect. You keep your, I think at this point it's 17 husbands. She started out with 19, now she's at 16. No, 17, sorry, 17. 17 husbands, so you keep them. Like, game respects game. I understand like where you're coming from. But yeah, what was I gonna talk about? Yeah, I love Jim. Like, going after the motherfucker who killed their dad, like, I understand where they were coming from, because that's all they saw, like, that's all they understood. That was the one that hurt. That's a trauma response right there. So of course, like, I kind of got a little upset whenever Grandma Nun over here was saying that you disrespected your family. You only killed one. There's like 6 of them. Blah blah blah. Like, I don't, like, why didn't you go, Miss Nun? God. Anyway, so in the end of the day, like, they end up killing one of the other ones too. And then Spanish Jackie lets them know, like, well, the other 4 are probably dead, so you don't even gotta worry about them. The fucking 6 gallos, 7 gallos, something like that. Yeah, so technically, like, Jim was able to do what they needed. It was they were able to prove themselves as who they were, that they were valid. They deserved to be where they were. They deserved to like be feared, honestly, because I would not want to get in a sword fight with Jim. No. And with that, I'm also going to talk about Oluwande. I don't know if I'm saying his name right. I'm so sorry. Who is a perfect right-hand man. In any scenario, like, they brought him along to tag team with somebody, he was amazing. He was a perfect sidekick. And he's the most level-headed person on that ship. And it made sense that they wanted him to be the captain of the new crew, because Steed was gone, Blackbeard was gone, you know. Izzy's fucking bonkers because he's a little nuts with power. But at the same time, like, they're fucking pirates. They thrive on chaos. So technically, like, I don't think it would have worked out in the end of the day anyways. Having him as captain, because then I don't know how that would work, because all they want to do is just fight. All they want to do is like take treasure. Yeah, I don't think it would have worked, honestly. Like, he really was better being at a right-hand man, because he was able to bring balance to your chaotic energy. So yeah. And their relationship with Jim, like, it made sense, because they were the first ones that respected them for who they were. They stuck by them no matter what, you know, and they felt the hurt whenever they left. Like, it was really like cute, because you could feel the tension. You could feel the tension whenever they were about to kiss at the, I don't know what the island was called, but like, you know, right before Jim left, they were about to kiss, you know, and you could just feel the tension. So it felt so good whenever Jim came back, and all he had to say was, "Yeah, I missed you," and it's like pina colada. Ooh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, so their relationship was kind of felt bad that like Blackbeard or the Kraken kept Jim, but couldn't even bother keeping Aluwande. Like, that was kind of a jerk move, but I guess I don't blame him because Jim was more of a neutral side, you know, didn't really give a fuck where they were at the, you know, and plus they were strong like fighter and stuff, so I mean, it makes sense that they kept them. And then Oluwande obviously was on Steed's side, you know, just looking at him, he'd probably be like, yeah, no, you two remind me too much of him. That's why you have to, like, not be here. Or maybe he didn't even pick who was on the ship. I think he did. I'm pretty sure he did pick who is on the ship at the end of the day. Anyways, next person I'm going to talk about is Lucius. Oh, Lucius, my beloved. He was so annoying in the beginning just because he sounded a little pretentious, but it made sense because he's the only one besides Steed that knew how to read and write. He's the only one who, but he was the only one who knew his shit, you know? So I guess he had a right to act smart, and he knew how to use it to a T. Like, that man, he grew on me at the end of the day. And then even then, like, he kind of represented us as a fandom because he wanted to push Steed and Blackbeard together too. Like, he saw while we were watching, he was our live slug reaction to whenever these two idiots were interacting with each other and they were acting like they didn't know what the fuck was happening. Like, so Lucius was a real one. He became way more tolerable after like the second episode. Probably the first episode. I feel like in the first episode you kind of grew on him because, you know, he knew his shit. You know, game should respect game. He knew how to act right, and and I will always respect him because he his quote, the thing that my favorite quote of the season, honestly, it was, "Oh, I don't think I'm cute, but I carry myself like I am." And like, confident king, valid, like, you know, like, slay. You got it. So that, I think that's why it really hurt whenever he threw him overboard. Like trash. Like, it was so easy. And then they had the audacity to let us listen to this man beg to be saved because that was so mean. Like, there was no need. Like, and it was like he was trying to kill us in the process, you know. Especially since it was the end of the season. Like, we knew we weren't going to get a good conclusion, but that was like a freaking jab in the back, too. It's like, hey, stab you, twist. That's what's happening, guys. You don't get, you got your shit. You got your kiss. You got your feelings heard. But guess what? Feelings get hurt. That's life. That's how we live. So that's why we gotta push our feelings overboard and not look back, which is what he did. It's what Ed did. And it was so mean. But I guess I understand. No, I don't, because I am Lucius in that situation. You're pushing me overboard, and I think that sucks. Next is Black Pete, another one who had to grow on me a little later on in the season. And it was really whenever I saw him and Lucius, like, actually be a couple, because they were so pure and so wholesome together. Like, he started off as a fucking liar, an annoying liar too, because you could tell he was like being over dramatic, saying, yeah, I was on Blackbeard's ship and his head was made of smoke. Why Steve believed him, I could not tell you, because for a man who claims to be educated, who had all those books, you should have saw all the signs. This is fan fiction to a dime, and you didn't see him lying through his teeth. Like, it was kind of fucked up. But anyways, he He became tolerable whenever him and Lucius were like shown to be in a relationship. And it was really cute. It was so healthy. It was so wholesome because you could tell like they trusted each other completely. Black Pete always made sure he spoke on his feelings. You know, he told him, yeah, for the first time ever, because someone decided to bite Lucy's finger in fear. He was like, it's a nervous reaction. I'm looking at you, Buttons. You're fucking nuts. And he thought, Black Pete thought Lucius was gonna die because he's out here acting crazy because it's fucking infected. They can't fix it because it's fucking infected. It's gone. Like, and they weren't able to chop it off because Lucius was running around. He did not want to stand still for shit for the life of him until he ended up being crazy and chopped it off himself in the middle of their play. I'm skipping around a lot, guys, in case you didn't notice, which is a good reason why you should watch the show. Another reason why you should, if you have the means to, get an HBO Max subscription and watch the show. Because, yeah, they had a whole play thing because they wanted to make Steed wanted to prove another reason why these fucking little queers were so cute together. Steed throughout the whole show was trying to prove himself. Like, hey, I'm cool. Hey, yeah, you're so cool and I'm trying to like keep up with you even though you are so like happy being just around me, doing the chillest things like eating marmalade on toast and drinking tea with me. Like, you know, so it's just little moments like those. It wasn't little moments, it's actually a pretty big moment. Anyways, so yeah, Lucius cuts off his finger in the middle of the play, and Black Pete thought he was gonna die. He's watched people die before, but it was only whenever he thought Lucius was gonna die, he actually like feared it. And I thought that was really cute. Like, that, and he respected that everyone basically showed their balls to Lucius because, like, he's an artist. Like, what the fuck? Like, well, how are you gonna use him against me? You think I don't know? You think he hid secrets from me? This is a small ship. Izzy fucking hands. Dizzy Izzy. I'm sorry, I'm like talking so much shit on Izzy, but he's actually one of the funniest characters too because fucking shit. Like, I guess maybe I relate to him. Which brings me to that. I might as well just start talking about him now. I had another character in front of him, but I'll go back to him. But Izzy Hands, a masochist, bitch baby, who wanted power but didn't know how to use it and became greedy. I mean, he knew snitches got stitches, and he went out and narked on his captain anyways. And the fact that he was trying so hard to intimidate the other crewmates, you know, because he couldn't get Steed. I don't know how, because he couldn't, I guess because his energy was so high and so unnecessary. It wasn't intimidating at all. So Steed just like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm just doing my own thing. Like, there's nothing we should be afraid of, right? You know? To Izzy fucking Hands, who is fucking crazy. He's crazier than the rest of them only because he's desperate for something. We don't know yet because Baby doesn't want to be honest with us. And I don't blame Baby because feelings are scary. You know? But, that ooh daddy scene is gonna like haunt my hellscape like for the rest of my life. And it's just basically a bunch of little snippets like that are what kills me inside with joy, not with like sadness or anger or anything. And the actor who plays Izzy, Con O'Neill, he's a dream. He literally, besides like the actual showrunners and Taka, I think Taka's also like one of the main producers and directors too. He's been showcasing to the fucking 9. Y'all need to watch this show. This show's amazing. Like, please berate me because yes, I am playing a bad, mean man who acts like a virgin, but I appreciate it. Like, y'all need to share because I am hilarious. And he is. Like, he's one of the best characters, even though he's like the worst fucking person. He let this man cut off his pinky toe and he ate it. He ate it. Edward didn't even have to stay and watch. He walked out of the room and I know damn well that he swallowed. Like, I can't. But yeah, Izzy's like, he's an honorary sidekick. He likes being the side, not in that respect, but an actual, like, you know, right hand man who's also side. I'm gonna talk about Frenchie, who is so cute, so like a crafty ass motherfucker, an entrepreneur. I loved his vibe. Him and Aluwande, like, they start this fucking pyramid scheme, and all the modern like fucking jokes that were sprinkled onto this series was fucking chef's kiss. Like, there's the pyramid scheme, there's the damn I think it's Egyptian prince scheme, you know, where you send emails and you convince old ladies to give you money because you're lonely. That's basically what they end up saying at the end of the day. And I also thought that like the pig's blood thing for Steed's fake death scene was a homage to Carrie, but I might be wrong there. I just heard pig's blood and it automatically went to like scary. But yeah, they're pretty there wasn't much to that character, I don't think, but I just appreciated like their quick wit and how they vibe with the rest of the crew, the rest of, like, you know, the main cast. It was really nice. Next is Buttons. Yeah, we're gonna go talk about Buttons because he is a chaotic king, and I'm sorry about your bird friend, like, RIP to a real, that was a real one, like, but at least he got revenge in the end, like. And I think, fun fact, I think seagulls are the souls of dead sailors, but I might just be referencing the Lighthouse movie with like Robert Patterson, so don't quote me on that. But I think it is an actual thing that people would tell each other. But but he's talking to these fucking birds. He's the bird guy, and you know, like, he was just vibing. Like, I had massive respect, and I too also wish to walk around naked in the moonlight because it's just how I want to live, like, you know. And he was just vibing, and everyone respected him, and it made sense to me. Like, I don't, my man had wooden teeth in case he needed to bite through people's throats. Like, what the fuck? And of course, that's the thing that like took off Lucius's finger. Like, he fucking bit him by accident because he was scared and gave Lucius an infection on his finger that made him go fucking nuts. But yeah, Buttons was fucking hilarious. And I think he's also like the ship captain too. Yeah, not the ship captain. The one who steers the boat. He's a boat steerer. So he knew his shit and he knows where boats are from miles away. Like, he's fucking good like that. He's a king. Like, I respect him. I think I respect all these characters though, so maybe respect everyone and you won't have a fucking problem with anything, you know? Then we had Swede, who was just as chaotic in all the right places. Had the voice of a fucking angel, and it was really cute how they hyped him up. You know, they made him feel really good about himself, and that's basically it. Like, that's pretty much it. That's all I had. But these are just characters that I really enjoyed. You know, not to say that like the whole ensemble wasn't incredible, because it was. Like, everyone had their own like quirks and moments. It's just, there's too many to count for, to be fair. And so I'm just doing the ones that like I kind of recognize the most, the ones that I kind of relate to in some way, shape, or form. You know, there's different embodiments that I take. You can take a guess to which ones like I really did enjoy. Was it the eyeliner? Was it the masochism? I might have made everything obvious. But anyways, honorable mention goes to Mary, because I too would have stabbed my husband with a skewer if I had the chance. Because he decided to come back from the dead after abandoning me, not even leaving a fucking letter. I don't think he even left a fucking letter. And so like he came in waltzing into her life. And she didn't want to change anything because she was living her best life, and he had to come and ruin it. So yeah. I would have stabbed him with a skewer, but it was so cute. Nah. I'm gonna go like real cute again, because whenever I can acknowledge the fact that like she didn't know who Steed was. Steed didn't even know who he was until like he went off on this ship. So I think they were together they were like each other's first loves, even though they were like arranged to be married. So whenever she was telling him about love, and that whole montage, whenever she was the one who told him about love and how it was easy and how you learn from each other, that whole montage was beautiful. Like, you got to see all your favorite moments. It was so cute. And how she just automatically respected him whenever he said, his name is Ed. I'm in love with Ed. So cute. I can't even, like, it was just one of those. It's those things that, like, those little things. Because obviously, like, there's a bunch of historical accuracies within the show, but at the end of the day, it is, like, you can kind of consider it, like, historical fiction, too. It's modern humor, you know? Like, it's mixed in with modern humor. So, to have everybody respect each other's, like, pronouns, not question anything, not even question, like, sexuality. Questioning sexuality is a fucking joke. Because at the end of the day, you love who you love. You know? Like, it doesn't matter, because we're living this one life together in this floating ball in space, which is vast, and there's so much of it to, you will never, like, count all the stars in your lifetime. Yeah, so it felt so pure, and it felt so, like, genuine and so valid. And this show in general, like, David Jenkins is a fucking saint for making this show, honestly. Like, he was like, hey, yeah, this is for y'all, my babies, my queer babies, because y'all deserve the world, and the world wasn't giving it to you, so I'm giving it to you. And so I'm just gonna go over my overall thoughts on the show, which, in case you didn't know, I thought was amazing, really cute, really wholesome, a little nuts, like, not gonna lie, a little nuts, but the way it was written, the way these two characters were just, you saw them falling in love with each other, and they were like strangers to friends, friends to lovers, and you could kind of, and like how you saw how they were like reacting to each other, and how you knew it wasn't bromance, you know, it was romance, road to the manse. You can't hide that, because it takes a certain level of like care and kindness to show to somebody, to like give them a sense of belonging, which can equate to like showing them what love is. And the yearning, it's all about the yearning. And I think that was the moment I was like, no, this is a fucking joke, right? Like, there's no way he could be giving us what we wanted. It was in that, at the end of the fucking fancy boat episode, where he gave him Ed had this whole little thing about, you know, he's never known to grow up rich. Like, he's only learned to take, because that's just how he was raised, and like all he was told he deserved, because they weren't born like lucky. So he had this fancy little pocket square, or it's fancy little fabric. I don't even think it would even be considered a pocket square, to be honest, because it was it was just whatever he had. And, you know, for Steed to go up to him and say, fix a little thing into a square, put him in his little coat pocket, which, by the way, like, Steed was giving this man all his clothes. Like, he didn't give a damn. Like, he took pride in his clothes. Sure, he took pride in his clothes. But when it came to this man and his appreciation for it, that was also another thing. Like, the appreciation for each other's, like, differences was really fucking cute. So, what was I gonna say? Oh, the pocket square. He made a little pocket square for him, and he said, "You wear fine things well." And they're just staring at each other. One of them isn't gonna make a move. Ed's too scared to make a move because he's honestly never felt like this before, and you could tell. You know, it's easy to, like, you know, just be friends with people and, like, fall into place with what they want and what they need. But I think overall he was, like, scared that he was being vulnerable with this crazy little man. This crazy little gentleman's pirate. And it was at that moment I was like, it can't be real. This can't be real. Like, it's happening. Like, and then at the end of episode 8, whenever you get the whole, like, leg touching, like they're holding hands. Oh my God. And I think those had a bigger effect on me than, the kiss had a real big effect on me too. Like, let me be clear, like, no, like, that kiss was everything because it felt so genuine and so pure. Because, of course, this was all, like, I think that's the biggest thing, that we are gonna figure out that Blackbeard was the one who was being, open and vulnerable to his feelings and his emotions and acknowledging how he felt, like, about Steed. But we didn't really get to see that Steed acknowledged his feelings about Edward until, like, he was barely figuring out around the end of episode 10 that, like, you know, he had a genuine connection with Ed, you know? Like, he knew he liked him, sure. And he liked the fact that, like, Ed made him happy. But I feel like since he had so many loose ends, he wasn't sure it felt real or if he was just being selfish. Which, I mean, love is about being selfish, to be honest. Like, it's you acknowledging your own feelings and your own insecurities within people. So it made sense. But so I hope that, like, this next season, where if we get a next season, HBO, please. It's just big sponsorship for HBO, and I'm not even sponsored because this is my first video, guys. So I feel like, yeah, we get a lot more of Steed's growth within, like, that whole aspect of the relationship, because he's becoming a better leader. Like, you know, he's acknowledging his wrongs. He's acknowledging that sometimes he's a little much and he needs to, like, put different things in certain ways in order to make everyone understand and make everyone happy. Which, at the same time, he was such a genuine person. He read to these motherfuckers every night. It was so cute. Like, this is just me bawling about a show. I really did. I bawled the whole time. Like, I literally was watching the last 2 episodes at work because I couldn't, like, take waiting until I got off to go watch it. But anyways, thanks for watching this video, guys. Make sure you like and subscribe. I'm gonna have all the links to my... That was my cat, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna have all the links to my socials down below, like my Instagram, my Twitter. Be warned, I do shitpost a lot, like, sorry not sorry. And hopefully I'll see y'all soon with another one of whatever the fuck I end up doing, because this is brand new to me. And to be fair, if you haven't figured it out within this video, I tangent a lot. So anyways, love is love. Hope y'all have a great day or night or wherever you are in this world, because life is too short to be afraid of things that make you happy. So bye, guys. Bye. I'll see y'all later.